started. Welcome everyone to month 4 of our member onboarding program. My name is Zach Hewells and I work in the Marketing Communications Department at the NAIFA Home Office. Thank you for joining us today. I am joined by Dan Finley, and Dan is going to be covering his advisor solutions and coaching sessions. So I just wanted to go over a few housekeeping before we do actually kick this off. This is our Zoom platform if you're not familiar with it, and if you have any questions for us during the presentation, if you hover over the window, you'll see a chat feature at the bottom of the screen. You can go ahead and type out messages and questions here, and we will be happy to monitor them and get to them at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker, Dan Finley. So Dan Finley is the co-founder of Advisor Solutions, and he's been in financial advising for over 13 years in the business, and he's been helping an overwhelming amount of our NAIFA members and other advisors through the industry with his coaching sessions. And the coaching sessions are open to you as a NAIFA member, and Dan will talk a little bit more about that today. But just so you're aware, Dan also has a book out there that can help you called 101 Advisor Solutions, a financial advisor's guide to strategies that educate, motivate, and inspire. And even though Dan has been coaching and inspiring since 2004, he hasn't really seemed to lost a step, at least in my mind, because he's consistently coming up with new and inventive ways to coach people even as the business environment changes and moves more to digital, like today that we're doing over Zoom, and it's a fun time. So I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Dan. So Dan, thank you for joining us today.
Great. Well, thank you, Zach. And I want to thank everyone for being here today. Welcome to the Advisor Solutions NAIFA Connection. This is an Advisor Solutions webinar, and we're going to cover a lot of stuff today. And I understand that a number of people that are on the line right now are actually watching this this webinar are new to Advisor. So I want to welcome you to NAIFA. I'm a NAIFA member as well. And let's talk a little bit about the Advisor Solutions NAIFA Connection. So let me tell you a little bit about Advisor Solutions and NAIFA. And I want to let you in on a little secret. Before I even got involved with NAIFA, I did notice something in the industry. In fact, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got in 2003, actually 1993. I'm dating myself. And I was in production for 13 years, and how I've worked with advisors and agents and wholesalers and so on since 2004 when I started or co-founded Advisor Solutions. But years ago, I actually realized that there was a secret out there, a secret that I had never even thought about. But once, and I'm going to let you in on this secret, and the secret is for any challenge that you ever have had, and any challenge that you have right now, or any challenge that you will have in the future, there's always, always, always a solution. And it reminds me of a quick story, a story that happened to me back in '93 when I started in the business. When I got into the business, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't even know it. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know I didn't know it. And what I mean by that is the first level of learning. It's called unconscious competence. And it reminds me of the day that I realized that. And so I was coming into the office, and I love to get into the office early and leave late. And I was getting into the office early, and I got into the elevator, and the elevator doors were starting to shut. And I remember I heard somebody yell, "Hold the elevator." And so I held the elevator, and this guy came shooting in. And I knew this guy. This guy was a veteran financial advisor. This guy actually had 25 years of experience. And when I actually thought 25 years of experience was a long time. Now, I've been in the industry for 27 years as of this video. And I remember what the guy said to me, and he was just being polite when he said, "Hey, how are things going?" And I said to him something that I didn't even think about. I just said to him, "I feel like I'm treading water and looking for land. I feel like I'm treading water and looking for land." Now, I don't know if you've ever felt like this, or if you've ever actually been out to the ocean on a boat, and if you dive over the side and you swim around and you go underneath the water and you come back up, and you're not sure which way land is, you could swim this way, one way, and drown. You could swim another way and drown. In other words, if you don't know what direction to go, you could be lost and could be hurt, and actually not make it. And the same thing is the same way in this business too, because if you don't know what to do, then what do you do? And so what we're going to do is you're going to learn today about the Advisor Solutions NAIFA connection. And we're going to go over who Advisor Solutions is and our NAIFA connection and how NAIFA members can benefit. You, being a NAIFA member, can benefit from Advisor Solutions. We're actually going to go over several topics, and they're what I call solution sessions topics. And I'm going to actually go over, gosh, I think it's the 10 most popular topics that we've done with NAIFA over the last, gosh, I think it's been since 2014. So 6 years as of this video. And then we're going to jump into some advisor success stories and then go into the next step. What do you do next? So there's a lot we're going to cover, but stick with us through the whole webinar. And I think a lot about how to take your business to the next level. So let's begin. So understanding Advisor Solutions. Who is Advisor Solutions? Well, let's find out. Advisor Solutions is a business development consulting and coaching service designed to help financial advisors and also insurance agents build a better business one solution at a time. So I co-founded it and in 2004. I'm going to tell you what happened in 2004. I was in production for 13 years. I started in 93. I was in production for 13 years. And I remember in 2004, I was sitting down with a client, a couple, and I just closed them. Now, what was interesting about this, I'd closed many, many people, hundreds of people over the years. But what was different is this is one of those aha moments, defining moments where you never forget it. And what happened was, after I closed this couple and they left, I had their paperwork in front of me. And it was a huge annuity. And there was a contract in front of me, and I had all the paperwork filled out. And I looked at it, and I grabbed the phone to call somebody else. But I realized, as I picked up the phone to call someone else, I realized I didn't know who I was going to call, what I was going to say, or anything. You see, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know I didn't know it. But I did know that I wanted to talk to the next person. And that night I went home, and I put the phone down, and I thought to myself, wait a minute, I need to slow down and figure out who am I going to call? What am I going to say? How do I handle the objections and all of that? And so I sat down that night and I made a pie chart. And in the pie chart, I put different slivers of the pie. And I looked at that and I thought to myself, what is this? If this were the business, what is it? And I started filling up the different slivers with things such as different facets of the business, such as management, prospecting, sales, marketing, client servicing, and so on. And then I started to ask myself the tough questions. Okay, so what are my challenges with, let's say, time management or prospecting or any of these, all of them? And then I started looking for solutions. And I started looking for solutions with 40 different sources. So in 2004, I founded Advisor Solutions. I co-founded with my best friend at the time. And in 2006, we started doing group sessions. And in 2007, I started speaking around the country to different NAIFA chapters and different organizations that were made up of advisors and agents. In 2008, I started doing the Monday Morning Motivation. So if you're not on that, shoot me an email at advisorsolutionsinc.com. We'll get you on that. It's just a motivational message every Monday. And then I started writing a book in 2009. And it took 2 years to write this book. It's a 473-page book. But we published it in 2011. And as of 2019, the last time I looked, it was over 20,000 hours of coaching financial advisors and insurance agents. So what does that mean? That means that whatever challenge you're having, whatever challenge you had in the past, you're having now, or you will in the future, I've seen it, and I've likely coached around it. So what is the Advisor Solutions and NAIFA connection? Well, let's find out. And as I progressed with Advisor Solutions, so did my relationship with NAIFA. And in 2007, I began speaking at NAIFA local chapters around the United States. And in 2013, NAIFA was kind enough to ask me to come to corporate headquarters and record programs in a box. And so we did. We recorded a It was 4 hours of recording of video, condensed down to, they edited it down to 3 hours. And I believe it's professional prospecting. It's NAIFA's Programs in a Box on professional prospecting. 2014, Advisor Solutions had started doing free sessions called the Solution Sessions. And we do those twice a month. I believe they're the second and the fourth Thursday at 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. And we've got over 100 hours of audio from those solution sessions. And then in 2015, I was asked to speak at the NAIFA National Conference. And then 2016 did the same thing. In 2016 also, that's when I actually wrote the NAIFA Professional Prospecting Skills Builder program, which was a huge program on how to professionally prospect. And so there's a lot in there. In 2019, was asked to moderate and did moderate the NAIFA Diversity Symposium. So there's a lot that we've done with NAIFA, and I am a NAIFA member, and I believe in the organization. So how do you, as a NAIFA member, benefit from any of this? Well, let's find out. So one of the ways that you benefit is the Advisor Solution Sessions. I talked about that, and we do 2 complimentary 1-hour group coaching sessions per month. And we have a recording. We send out the recording. And I offer a free 30-minute individual coaching session. So if you're interested in getting coached for a free half an hour coaching session, just jot my email down, Dan@advisor, ADVISOR, solutionsinc.com, and shoot me an email that says free session, and it will set up a time. And also, you get an opportunity to hear what the best practices are, what other people are doing, what other people in the industry are doing, other NAIFA members are doing to help them get to the next level. And it also creates camaraderie and ancillary learning. So there's a lot that we do with the Advisor Solution Sessions. Also, you get the Monday Morning Motivation for free. It's a 52-week motivational message. It comes out every Monday, and there's a 1-hour audio that you can request, and we'll send that out as well. And then on Fridays, we send out the Coach Corner. It's a 52-week Coach's Corner message full of tips, tools, techniques, all of that kind of stuff to help you with strategies, methodologies, and solutions that are working for other people. So what are the Advisor Solutions session topics? And this is the part I've been trying to get to since we began, because I'm going to tell you some of the topics that have worked for other people, for other advisors and agents, other NAIFA members. We're going to cover 10 of the most popular topics. And so let's begin. So Advisor Solutions has over 100 hours of recording of these group coaching sessions with NAIFA members. And what are the top 10 solutions that we've recorded? Solution sessions topics that we've done. Well, let's talk about the number one. And the number one recording that I think is the most popular is the Advisor Solutions Mastermind session. And the reason that I say that is for this. So we've got a number of NAIFA members that will sign up for this group session. And what they're doing is they are filling out a form. And then the form is really designed so that you talk about your number one challenge in your business. You send the form in to us, and then what we do in that session is we go over tips, tools, techniques, strategies, and solutions that have worked for other agents and advisors. And so what it is, it's almost like a one-on-one coaching, but with several people on the line. And sometimes we get up to 60 people that have signed up for this. So we can't obviously take everybody and everybody's challenges, but what we do is we take 10, maybe a dozen, and we go over those and we split the time up to talk about what challenges you're having and what solutions work for other people. Then, number two, the second one that I think is so popular because it's so important is this. It's mastering questions-based selling. So what this is about is questions-based selling is really a process to ask better questions. See, most advisors and agents, what they do is they only ask situational-based questions. Those situational-based questions uncover facts. But what we do in this session is you understand several different ways to ask questions. First, we talk about understanding foundational questions. Here's what I mean by foundational questions. All questions are either open-ended questions or closed-ended questions. All questions are either open-ended questions or closed-ended questions. And open-ended questions, actually closed-ended questions start with is, would, could, should, do, did, does, things like that. So the purpose of a closed-ended question is to make sure that you close the conversation and that you finalize the point. So a question like, does that make sense, would be a closed-ended question to finalize the point, okay? So an open-ended question, as you probably know, is really designed to open up the conversation. So it's something like this. How old are you? How long have you been in the business? Are you that's actually a closed-ended question, are you? But how long have you been in the business? So why did you start the business? So who else works with you? And questions like that. So all questions are either closed-ended questions or open-ended questions. And then we look at the next level to this, which is understanding spin selling. Now, spin is an acronym for different types of questions, such as situational-based questions, which uncover facts. And a question might be a situational-based question, or questions might be, are you the business owner? How long have you owned this business? Do you have any employees? How many employees do you have? Do you have a retirement plan? Do you have insurance, a company plan for their insurance? Do they and you have life insurance through the company? All of those questions are closed-ended questions. And unfortunately, a lot of companies, a lot of firms suggest to people that you need to go out and do a fact finder. That's the first appointment. The problem with just a fact finder is that you're never really taking the conversation to a deeper level. And the deeper level is uncovering problems. So that's the P in spin. Problem-based questions uncover the problem underneath the situation. So something like, are you the business owner? Situational-based question. How long have you had this company? Oh, it's been 30 years. How many employees do you have? 50 employees. Do you have a company plan? No, we've never really started one. What concerns you most about not having a company plan? What concerns you most about is a problem-based question. So I've got 4 different ways to ask that same question. What concerns you most? What keeps you up at night? And so on. And so if you understand problem-based questions, or when you understand problem-based questions, you can get to another layer of the conversation and uncover what their problems are. But what if they don't understand they have a problem? So what you do is you explain, one of the concerns that other business owners have had is the fact that you go into a story. And then you finish up with reconnecting by saying, does that make sense? That's a closed-ended question. So you can bring them back into the conversation and they understand that they may have a problem. Now get this, there's another level to this, implication-based questions. Implication-based questions simply do this. They help the listener understand the implication of not fixing the problem. What do you think would happen if? So that's a precursor. That's the couple of words that turn it into an implication-based question. What do you think would happen if you don't have a company plan, but the competition does? Well, I don't know. Maybe they might want to go work for the competition eventually. But what do you think would happen if they don't have a 401k and the competition does? Well, I guess it's more attractive for them to work over there. Exactly. How do you think it would help you most if I showed you how to put together a retirement plan package with a 401k, with health insurance, life insurance, so your employees want to stay with you? Well, I think what it would probably do for me is, make me very competitive with the competition. Exactly. That's exactly what it would do. And that's exactly why I'd like to show you how other people are doing this and why it can benefit you in so many different ways. Does that make sense? Yeah. So what I just did is I finished it up with a needs payoff question. How would it help you most? And then I finished up with what I call an agreement close. I created that. It's very difficult for someone to disagree with you when you agree with them. And so when you say exactly, that's exactly why I'd like to insert benefit. I'd like to get together with you and show you how to have a retirement plan package, a benefits package, so that your insert benefit, so that your employees want to stay with you and you increase your employee retention. And do you have any time at Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 4 so I can show you this plan? Close. So that's what you learn in mastering questions-based selling. You learn how to understand spin selling, and then taking the spin selling question quiz. By the time you finish that session, you will without a doubt be able to take this quiz and be able to identify the 4 different types of spin selling questions: situational, problem, implication, and needs payoff. And then we obviously record the session and send it out to you so that you can go over it and learn from it. Number 3, mastering time management. One of the biggest challenges advisors and agents have had since the beginning of this industry is how to master time management. Here's why. Most advisors and agents don't realize that they're very reactive all day long. In fact, I would say the vast majority of financial advisors and insurance agents are putting out fires all day. See if this resonates with you. So picture this. You come into the office and you sit down and you check your emails, check your voicemails, and you're trying to figure out what are you going to do next. And then you make a few calls to some clients, and then you get some client calls that are coming in. You've got some things that you've got to take care of. You're putting out fires, and then you go back to doing what you were doing before. Maybe you're getting ready for an appointment, and then all of a sudden you get another call, and you get sidetracked, and you put out another fire. And this goes on all day long, every day, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And that's how you run your business. You're reactive. Most advisors and agents are reactive. They just are. And it's because they don't understand the common time management challenges, which is not having structure to the day and not having a way to handle the interruptions. And so what we're going to talk about is the methodology for adding structure to your day. You see, you got to take that day and turn it into a game. And I've got this game that I call the bottom line list. And so think of it this way. If you had to take 5 things, and bottom line, you have to get these 5 things done every day, what would they be? Maybe it's prospecting. If I don't prospect every day, I don't grow the pipeline. And if I don't grow the pipeline, I don't put people into it, and the business doesn't grow. Okay? Another one might be client servicing. If I don't service my clients, somebody else will. So I have to service my clients. Another one might be prospect follow-up. So these are people that are in my pipeline, in my computer, and they've been in my computer for a long time. So I've got to get back to them and make sure that I move them through the pipeline and add new people to it as well. Or what about this? What about getting ready for appointments or being in appointments? Because if I don't get ready for the appointment, then I'm running around at the last minute to get ready for it. And I did that for years, and you do not do that. And then another one would be, what about being in the appointment? Am I when I'm in the appointment? And then, of course, there's miscellaneous, which is all the different things that might come from compliance or corporate or something like that. So once you understand this tool, the bottom line list, and you turn it into a game so that you're trying to win the game, these 5 things, you're trying to get at least 4 out of 5, and you have a punishment and a reward system, it makes the day fun because you know at the end of the day you had more structure, you got more accomplished, and you're building the business, you're growing the business and maintaining it as well. So the other thing that most advisors and agents don't do very well is manage interruptions. So picture this. I had a woman using that first tool, that bottom line list. She said it works from 8 to 8:30. And I said, what happens at 8:30? That's when my phone starts to ring. And I said, well, you're not using the interruption management tool. And what I mean by that is a tool that is called the time matrix to do. So picture this. Every time that you get interrupted, most advisors and agents feel that that is an important and urgent issue. So in other words, what they do, they put out that fire. And they drop everything and put out that fire. The problem with that is that there isn't just one fire a day. There's one fire, then the next fire, then the next fire, and the next fire, and all you're doing is putting out fires. But what if you had a tool that actually every time you get interrupted or any time you have it, you put it on this tool and then you prioritize it. So either you're going to take care of it right now, okay, which you're probably doing with everything, or you're going to take care of it today, or you're going to take care of it this week, or you're going to take care of it whenever. And what if you had a time when you're actually going back to this tool and you were making sure that you were taking care of things that you need to get done today? Well, what would happen is you start to get control of your business. And when you get control of your business, and your time, I should say, when you get control of your time, you get control of your business, and you feel better about what you're. In fact, I had an agent who had been in the business not very long, only 5 years. He retired when he was 50, went back into the corporate world at 60 because he was bored, retired again at 62 and started and bought into an agency with his best friend. His best friend had had it for years. He bought into the agency and he started coaching I started coaching him. And what was interesting about this guy, he took those two tools, the bottom line list and the time matrix to do, and he started using those. And in a year and a half, his business doubled. Another year later, it doubled again. In fact, I'll talk about him a little bit more in depth later on in this webinar. But the reason that it did so well is because of this. He was focused in on making sure he had structure to the day and a way to handle the interruptions. Now, I asked him, after he had doubled his business once and he doubled it twice, I said to him, so tell me a little bit about where you were before we started. And he said, I was stressed all day long, stressed. And I said, okay, where are you now? And he said, I'm not stressed at all. In fact, I'm less stressed than when I started from day one. And I said, why is that? And he said, because I'm using those two tools every day. So you will learn those tools if you sign up for this free session. Then, of course, we record the session and we send it out. So hopefully you're starting to get the idea that for any challenge that you have, there is a solution. And what we're doing is we're taking these challenges and solutions and whittling them down to a 1-hour session to talk about a specific topic. And the fourth one that we talk about is handling objections. Now, the reason we talk about handling objections is because most people don't have a good way to handle rejection. Picture this. Whether you've been in the business for 30 days or 30 years, you're going to hear the same objections. It could be things like this. I'm not interested. Or it's going to be, I'm busy. Send me some information. Let me think about it. Why don't you give me a call next month? You know, it seems expensive. And the list goes on and on. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to find out the real objection. See, most objections, the first time they tell you an objection, it's probably not real. Something like, I'm busy. They aren't that busy if they found some value in getting together with you. And so how do you get through that? It's a technique that I designed called the smokescreen technique. And what this technique is, it's a way for you to find the core objection. So I'm going to role play this real quick with you. So picture this. I'll do both sides. 3, 2, 1, I'll start. So do you have any time at Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 4? Which one's better for you? You know, I appreciate the call, but I'm just busy. I completely understand that you're busy right now. I know it's a busy time of the year, but in addition to being busy, what else is holding you back from wanting to get together? Well, I'm not sure that I really want to make any changes as an advisor. Is there anything else? No, I have an advisor. I've had this advisor for 5 years now. What we just did, we found the core objection, the real objection. So the second part of this is learning how to overcome the real objection. So in this case, there's 3 ways to overcome the real objection. And I'm just going to go over one of those. It's called the objection resolution model. And so the objection resolution model is a 4-step process, which is empathy, acknowledgement, best question, 3 benefits, and close. And what that's all about is knowing exactly what to say when you hear the same objection that you've heard over and over and over again, except this time you can be ready for it. So if somebody said to me, I have an advisor, or I got them to the point where they admitted, I have an advisor. That's why I don't want to work with anybody else. I would say, and in fact, I'm going to role play both sides of this. 3, 2, 1, go. You know, I have an advisor, so I really, you know, I'm just, you know, I'm set. I really don't need to meet with anyone else. I completely understand. Hey, I'm just kind of curious before I let you go. If there was one thing you could change about your relationship with your current advisor, if you could change anything, what would that be? I don't know. I don't really hear from this guy much. Okay. Well, that's exactly why I want to get together with you, because I have a client servicing system that my clients know how often we will meet, what we will talk about, and how often we will speak to each other in meetings. And do you have any time at Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 4 so I can show you my client servicing system? Which one's better for you? Notice what I just did. I just went over a process for handling the objections. Most of you that are watching this right now, most of you that will watch it in the future, this webinar in the future, or even listen to this, don't have a way to handle objections. Now, if you're one of those people, I highly recommend that you email me so we set up a time to talk, because I can teach you this process in a one-on-one session. The third thing that you'll learn is how to use a herd mentality to overcome objections. The herd mentality is, most people have a herd mentality. If other people are doing this, then they want to do it. I'm going to teach the process to overcome objections using that herd mentality. And of course, like always, we record this session and I send the recording out to you. Number 5, just did this session just a couple of weeks ago, the 60-second market story. As of this recording, we're in a very volatile market, and I hate to timestamp this webinar, but right now it's very volatile. We've gone through a lot of things, as you know, with coronavirus, with people working from home, the market taking huge swings, going down 30%, coming back up 20% in 3 days. And so what do you do when a client says, so what's happening in the market? Most advisors and agents aren't ready for that. And so here's what they do. They just go on and on and on about what's going on in the market. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to learn a process for explaining the market in about 60 seconds. Now, always 60 seconds? No. But if you have this process that starts off with an intro to the past, the present, and the future, and then finishes with an outcome or a recommendation, you've got it. And one of the advisors that I taught this to just recently, in the last, it was probably in the last month, I've never been able to make so many client calls and talk about the market so efficiently as I have right now. And he actually said, this is now fun. So we are in a very volatile market, and this guy's having fun because he's on the phone calling his clients, explaining what's going on. He's got a great system. You can use it. You can learn that too. So you'll be able to utilize a template to map out your story. And then we role play a 60-second market story, and I start by showing you exactly what that sounds like, and it's very hard to do. And then what you do, update this template as it goes on, so it's always current, and you've got a relevant recommendation for your clients and for prospects as well. In fact, I've had recently some of my clients, my financial advisor clients, have been calling prospects that did not close in the last 12 months. In fact, I had one guy that is calling every prospect that he's ever not closed, as well as his clients. And what he's doing is he's calling and he's doing what I call a check-in call. Check-in call goes like this. Hi, Joe. This is Dan Finley with Investor Solutions. Hey, I'll give you a real quick call and check in, and here's why. Just wanted to see if you had any questions, comments, concerns about the market, about your portfolio that you have. I think you had it over at Equity Firm, about any questions about what's going on in the market. So he's setting the stage for this prospect, and he can do it with clients too. He is setting the stage with this prospect to ask him about the market. The prospect asks about the market, and then what he goes into a 60-second market story and finishes up brilliantly by saying something like, and that's exactly why I'd like to give you a second opinion so that we can make sure that you're not taking too much risk in this market. Are you interested in a second opinion? Actually, he prefaces it with saying, does all of that make sense? And they say yes. And then he says, what is your advisor telling you? Now, he's getting people that are saying, my advisor never called me. And so at that point, he says something to the effect of, well, that's exactly why agreement closed. That's exactly why I'd like to get together with you and show you how I'd show you whether or not you're taking way too much risk in this market. Would you like a second opinion? Closed-ended question. So he gets a yes, no response. Now, if he gets an objection like, well, yeah, I think I would, but why don't you give me a call back next month? It's a smokescreen. He goes back into the smokescreen technique. Do you see how these are all puzzle pieces and they're all starting to fit together? When you learn the 60-second market story, you get an objection, you know what to do with the objection, it all comes together. So you're getting it. Number 6, the lost art of listening. One of the hardest things for advisors and agents to do is not talk. And I got to tell you, doing a webinar is difficult for me. And the reason I say that is because I love to have interaction, a dialogue instead of a monologue. But picture this. What if you are not letting the prospect know that you are listening to them? Are they connected to you? No, they won't be connected to you. And so what you will learn is how to show a prospect and or a client that you are listening. In fact, I'm going to go over the 4 ways to do empathetic listening. There's 4 levels. Level one is mimicking. That is the 6-year-old kid, everything you say. That is the worst way to do empathetic listening, but at least you're letting them know. But there is a place for this. And the place is when you're talking about numbers. So let's say that you're in a meeting with someone, it's the first point, and you ask them, so how much do you have in your IRA? 500,000. And what about your investments in mutual funds? And 200,000. Okay, so you've got 500,000 and 200,000. You mimicked. That's fine. The second level is rephrase. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, I'm 53 years old, married, 2 kids. I've got a 401k, I've got an IRA, investments, and basically, I'm not even sure what I need to do in order to retire at 65. Okay, so it sounds like that the reason that you came in today is just to get a plan on on how to retire comfortably. Yeah, that's exactly why. What I just did is I rephrased what I heard. The third level are feelings. Phrase a feeling. So if I said everything that I just said, so what brought you in today? Well, 53 years old, married, 2 kids. I don't know. I've got a 401k. I've got an IRA. I've got some investments. But I really and that's why I'm here. You know, I want to retire at 65, and I don't want to be surprised. If I don't have enough. And you say, well, that sounds a little confusing. Is it? Well, it's very confusing because I'm not sure how much I need and what happens to make a connection. And then the 4th way is combining the feeling and it sounds a little confusing because there's so many things that you could do out there, so many things online, and what you really need is to show you what to do because they do it all day long. Is that right? I'm making a better connection by doing level 4. So what we do in this session, the Lost Art of Listening, is we practice that process, and it's fun. And then what we do is I teach a process that I've created called the filler formula. What the filler formula is a process to make sure that you're doing empathetic listening. Now, here's what it is. You ask a question, so it's question. They answer, so it's, and then you do a filler, which is empathetic listening. But there's 5 of filler, and empathetic listening is just 1. Here's the worst form of filler. And that's when you just say, yeah, okay, I see. So you ask a question like, tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, I'm 53. I've got 2 kids, married. Have a 401k and IRA and investments, and basically I just came here to get some kind of plan on what to do before I retire. Okay. And how much do you have in your, and right there, you're telling them that you're listening, but you're not telling them that you really care. So what we do, we practice the formula so that you get it and so that you're able to apply it. And then we record the session, send it out. So hopefully this is all coming together and you're getting it. Number 7, the 7th topic that I think is so popular is attracting referrals. One of the biggest mistakes that advisors and agents make when it comes to referrals is they ask the same way that people have been doing it for 40 plus years. Let me explain what I mean. See if you relate to this. Most advisors and agents ask this question. Who do you know that I could call and introduce myself to? And they get this answer. In fact, if you're listening to this right now, see if this was the answer that you got the last time you asked that question. I can't think of anybody, but if I do, I'll give you a call. Can you relate to that? You know, the fact that right there, you've got, you've asked for a referral and it's fallen flat. And then you do it the same way again and again and again. And people have been doing it for 40 years. Here's the problem with that process. That process is advisor-centered. It's all about me. How can you help me grow my business? It's advisor-centered. You don't want to ask for a referral that way. The biggest mistake advisors and agents make when asking for referrals is it's all about them. There's two reasons why somebody's going to give you a referral. One, they want to help you grow your business. Two, they want to help somebody that they care and love. And I'm telling you right now, they don't care about growing your business. So why are we asking the wrong way? We should be asking a client referral dialogue. Client-centered referral dialogue is designed that it's all about the client. And so what if we did dialogue like this? In fact, I'm going to do both sides of this. So 3, 2, 1, I'll start, go. So any other questions about, anything that we've covered in this review with your accounts, with the market, with anything? No, no questions at all. Great. Hey, quick question for you before we go, because I never know the answer. Has this been helpful? Yeah, it's helped a lot. Good. Hey, how has it helped most? Well, I think the main thing here is that I understand what we have and what the market's doing and what our plan is, our strategy is going forward. Good. How do you feel about that? Feel good about that? I feel very good about that because at least I understand. Great. Who would you like to help feel good about what they're doing with their investments because they have a plan, they've got a strategy, and they understand the market? Now I'm going to pause right there. Here's what I just did. It was all about the client, but you can still get back and you can still get the, well, I can't think of anyone. So I'm going to role play from there on. Watch what I do. 3, 2, 1, go. I can't think of anybody, but if I do, I'll let you know. So I'll definitely let you know. Great. Some people, they like to help their parents. They like to help their adult children. They like to help their best friends. They like their siblings. You mentioned your brother, Tim, who you go fishing with in Alaska every year. You think you want to help Tim feel great about what he's doing because he's got a strategy and he understands what's going on in the market? Well, yeah, but he probably has an advisor. Pause. That's an objection, and that's okay. Watch what I do. I'll start again. 3, 2, 1, go. I completely understand. In fact, he probably does have an advisor. I hope he does. But, one of the ways we can help him, notice what I did. I just said we. One of the ways that we can help him is to just find out if he understands, if he feels good about his investments and he's got direction. So one of the easiest ways to do this is you pick up the phone and you call Tim and just ask him if, let's grab lunch with you and I and him. Pause. Now in this social distancing time, we may not be able to do that, but what we could do is, a Zoom call, or you can insert, a phone call from you, the advisor. So I'm going to pick up again. So one of the things that we could do is you could pick up the phone, you could call Tim and tell him who I am and see if he's interested in taking a role. I'll give him a call. Or get this is even easier. You could send an email over to him that just says, hey, Tim, I want to introduce you to my financial advisor, Dan. We just had a meeting. We reviewed everything, and I feel great about what we're doing. Maybe you should talk to him. In fact, you should talk to him. So if it's okay, I'll pass, introduce you to. I've copied him on this email, and so I'll leave it to you two to from here. That is very non-threatening, and I'm on a role play right now. And that's what a lot of people are doing, and that's how I get a lot of referrals from my clients to their boss, to their peers, and it's easy. So I'm going to pick up on the referral dialogue. So there's 3, 2, 1, go. So there's 2 ways that you could do this. One, you could give your brother a call and ask if it's okay if I give him a call and that we work together. Or 2, this is even easier, you could just send him an email, copy me, and just let him know, hey, I just had a meeting with my financial advisor via Zoom. We covered everything. I feel great about what we're doing because I have a strategy, and I just think you two should know each other. Consider yourself introduced. And I'll take it from there. Of the 2, which one do you think you'd rather do? Pick up the phone and call him, or send him an email? Now notice what I did. I said the email last, and I did that for a reason because it's non-threatening. And most people hear the last and they pick that, an alternative. And so he's probably going to say, yeah, well, I'll just, I'll shoot an email out right now. And it's that easy. I got to tell you, I had a guy, financial, do this and get 27 referrals in 1 month.
Oh dear. Oh, it looks like we lost Dan. If everyone wants to, oh. Hey, Dan, you there?
Did we get disconnected?
Yeah, we got disconnected for a second there, but everyone seems to still be on. So if you want to share your screen again where you were, we can pick up where we left off.
Perfect. Let me see if I can get this out a second time around. Share the screen goes to right there.
Yep.
Okay, I'm back. Can you see my screen?
I
Back?
cannot.
It says, well, I've got a button that says stopping, so my assumption is that you're going to get it pretty soon. Do you have it?
Not yet, but we'll.
Do you want to stop this and share again?
Yeah, I would stop and share again. Let's try that. Maybe that's what. Maybe it just needs to reset.
I don't know. Okay. Sorry about the wait, everyone. Share. Did that come up?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Oh, it
So,
did. There we go.
So Zach, I know that I don't know where we got cut off. Had we finished up with number 7?
Yes, we are on number 8.
Okay. So one of the things kind of strange is me role playing both sides of the conversation, and I can't hear you and can't see anybody on here. But hopefully you're understanding that what's happening here is that you have a process for everything. And one of the things that most advisors and agents don't have a process for is creating a great elevator speech. And so what they do is, if you're an agent and somebody says, "What do?" You might say, "Well, I'm a financial advisor at XYZ," or you might say, "I'm an insurance agent at XYZ agency." Okay, that's like asking someone, "Hey, what do you do?" And they say, "Great, I have a dentist." You know, so what do? You create a great speech. So what we do in that session is you learn the elements of creating a great elevator speech, and you utilize a template that actually pulls people into the conversation. So let me do a role play, both sides of the conversation, so you get an idea of what a great elevator speech sounds like. And so here's what it would be like. Picture this: you're at a networking event, you're out and about, you meet someone, you're introduced to someone, and they say, "So what do?" You say, and I'm going to role play. 3, 2, 1, go. So what do you do? Well, I'm actually a financial advisor at XYZ, and I specialize in helping clients avoid the Great American Retirement Crisis. Well, what's that? Well, here's what it is. 80% of the people going to retire in the next 15 years won't maintain the same lifestyle because they don't have the right strategy. What are you doing to make sure that you have a strategy so you're in the 20 that will maintain the same lifestyle? Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I had a financial plan a few years ago, and I'm putting money away. Oh, okay. How do you know that plan is still good? Well, I guess I don't. Exactly. That's exactly why we should meet, because my clients know that their plan is still valid, and we do projections and we make sure that they are going to have a comfortable retirement. So you think you're interested in together? Yeah, I might be interested in that. Great. So do you have a business card? Yeah. So I'll tell you, I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call tomorrow. We'll just set up a time so we can get together. Great. So here's what I did. I did of a great elevator speech because first off, I said who I am, where I'm from, but then I threw in my specialism, my value-added proposition. I specialize in helping my clients avoid the great American retirement crisis. And that does. It gets that person curious to find out what is the great American crisis? And so they may ask, what is the American retirement crisis? And that's when you would say, well, and then you'd explain, and then you'd ask a question. Well, 80% of the people that are going to retire in the next 15 years won't maintain the same lifestyle. Do you know why? Why? Well, it's because they don't have the right strategy, and they don't even know it. And so, hey, what are you doing to make sure that in the 20% that will? And then you ask, see what I did is I asked another question, you pull them into the conversation, and they may say, well, I have a plan, I have an advisor. That's fine. How do you know that plan can withhold a second opinion? Well, I don't. Exactly. Agreement clause. That's exactly why I want to get together with you and show you how you can have a comfortable retirement. Are you interested in getting together? Close. Okay. So that's the process that we use, and we role play it and we record it, and so that you can hear yourself on there. So number 9 is unclogging the pipeline. Here's what I mean by that. I believe there are stages to the pipeline. So it doesn't matter if you're a financial advisor, insurance agent, wholesaler, whatever. The stages are this. The initial contact is stage 1. Stage 2 is the first appointment. Stage 3 is the second appointment. And stage 4 is the getting referrals. Or if you didn't close in stage 3, you would have to call them up, back together with them, or try to get back together with them by doing that in stage 4. So stage 4 kind of splits between getting referrals or getting back in front of them if you didn't close them. So you'll learn what each of these 4 stages of the pipeline are in more detail, and then you'll learn what the common clogs are for one. See, you've got a clog in your pipeline. You may not know it. The clog might be something like, I'm not putting enough people into the pipeline. That's stage 1. Or it might be stage 2. I have first appointment, but people don't get together for the second appointment. Or it might be stage 3, which is, I have the closing appointment, but they need to think about it. So you're ready for objections. Or maybe it's stage 4, those people, but I don't really get referrals because you don't have a good referral dialogue. So you'll learn how to unclog your pipeline and also record the session, and you get the recording. So I'm kind of rifling through this because we're coming to the end of the hour, but number 10, beyond the production plateau. We're going to talk about why we get production plateau. We're going to talk about 5 steps to get beyond the production plateau and how successful advisors and agents do that. And of course, we're going to. So what kind of success have advisors and agents had? I talked a little bit about Chuck, a guy who doubled his business. I did about Rob. Rob is a financial advisor who's been with me for years. And actually, he didn't close 7 out of 9 like this says. We did this about a year ago. He closed 17 out of 19. And I got to the point where I said, Rob, you don't even have to tell me anymore. I just assume you close everybody, because we're 90%. And so Tuck, another guy, he gathered 17 million in 13 months. Nobody gave him anything. And he was the 4th year in the business. He gathered 17 million in new assets in 13 months. And I could put him next to any veteran, and I would say, Tuck, he's got the tools and techniques to take himself to that next level, whereas any veteran that hasn't been coached doesn't. Glenn is a great client of mine. He had a $75,000 a month, 6th year in the business. Robert is a great client of mine. With me 2 years, he had a net closing where he put $200,000 into his pocket. And what about you? What about you? What about your successes? If you're not having this kind of success, it's because you don't have a coach, or you have a coach that doesn't know about this stuff. I've had over 20,000 hours of advisors and agents. So I tell people, never wait to succeed. Now is the time to take action. And so what I mean by that is, if you have not taken action to set up a time for us to talk, you need to send me an email. And I'll show you how to do that. It's just Dan@advisor, ADVISOR, solutions, plural, inc.com. I've set aside time for everybody on this web to make sure that you get a half an hour coaching session for free. We'll figure out what your challenges are and what the solutions are. At the beginning of all of this, I said, when in 1993, I was treading water and looking for land. Now I feel like I'm the lighthouse for those who are treading water and looking for land. If you want solutions, that's what I do. So, Zach, let's put it up for any questions that anybody has. I know we've got only a few minutes, but let's open it up for questions. Anybody has it all.
Sure. And Dan, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us and share your presentation. If anybody has any questions for Dan, feel free to use the chat feature. I'd be happy to pass them along. But if there are any questions or you think of them later today and you want to pass it along to him, maybe you forgot his email, you can always reach out to us at info@naifa.org, and we'd be happy to pass that along.
Good. And if anybody wants to set up a free session, there's my email address right there. Just shoot me an email, and in the subject line, please put free coaching session, and also NAIFA, so I know that you came from NAIFA and you're a NAIFA member as well. So, Zach, do we have anything at all?
Nothing in the chat window, no. But
Okay. Well, if we've got nothing coming in, Zach, that's pretty much what I have. Is there anything that you want to go over at all before we go?
Well, thanks again, Dan. Really appreciate it. Just want to let everyone know that month 5 next month is the papers publication in the media, and so just be on the lookout for the next webinar there. Again, thank you, Dan, and thank you everyone for their time. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and I hope you're all staying safe.
Thank you. Thanks, Zach.
Thanks. Take care.
Okay.